Hey, buddy, old pal. Let's talk weed hangovers. How does this happen? What is it? I have had them a ton. I had one last night. Too much elixir. But, I like to dose up heavy at night. I've been trying to cut it back. I'll go through phases where I do less. But essentially, in my opinion, a weed hangover is when you wake up and you still have weed in your system. So I almost think it should just be called like a morning high instead, because it's kind of a hangover, but I think you're like still high a little bit. I am personally when I wake up, I'm like, it's a weed hangover because it carries through, but I'm still a little stoned and groggy. And how I've had it the worst, like, when I get the worst weed hangovers is when I made batches, like big edible, infusion batches, and I use trim and shake, kinda that bottom of the barrel product, and then I take a lot, and then, like, every time I do that, I'd have a pretty big weed hangover in the morning. It makes getting up harder. That alarm goes off, and you're, like, groggy and high. And I have friends who get weed hangovers, and their cure is kind of the hair of the dog, if you will, with weed and just waking and baking. That's not my style. I feel like that would put me in a coma and I'd be unproductive as fuck. My fix, personally, really the thing that works best for me is just caffeine. I'm kind of an energy drink guy, so I'll usually do that. But like, I feel like if it's a hot coffee or something, might even help more having that hot coffee come in. What I also really like that helps me is like I don't really do ice baths, but I do love a nice hot bath. So in the morning, sometimes I'm feeling that weed hangover. I'll run a nice hot Epsom salt bath. I'll get in there 15, 20 minutes. I'll sweat out. Like I'll make it pretty hot. So I turn it into a sauna. I'll sweat out. I'll drink, obviously hydrate first thing in the morning when you wake up. That's a big part of it too. Hydrate, maybe take a bath, maybe take an ice bath would probably be better. You live next to the ocean, you got a pool, hop in that shit, get some caffeine in your system and get the day going. You just got to get moving. What I've done too sometimes is just force myself to get out and get moving. Like I'll be like, fuck, I'm kind of like have a little weed hangover. I'll be like, all right, drink a little pre-workout maybe, go on a walk around the neighborhood. Just start moving. Even if you walk, like I'll go walk down to sometimes just I have a vending machine on like the bottom floor of my apartment here. So even doing that little walk to get energy drink kind of gets the blood flowing. But the weed hangover is a really interesting thing. Let me Google it and see what Google says it is, because I haven't done that. Good old Mr. Google. Let's see what it says. I typed in weed. Classic symptoms of weed hangover: fatigue, brain fog, mild nausea, headaches, and dry eyes. I don't really get the dry eyes. I don't really get the headaches, but I definitely have fatigue, brain fog. I don't really get the nausea either. I would say for me, it's mostly those first two, fatigue and brain fog. This is also called greening out. I forgot about that's funny name. How long does greening out last? Everyone responds to marijuana differently, and the length of a green out can vary. Some symptoms might only last a few minutes, while others can last hours. Some can last days, though, for real, too. There was one time where I took way too much coconut oil, and I swear to God, like I was high for like 48 hours straight. That shit is crazy, but that's a good point, and I say it all the time. Everybody's different. I'm a high dose dude, but like I have know people that if they eat 2 milligram gummy or a 5 milligram gummy, they might have a weed hangover. So I think the most important thing is figuring out what you like. Also, something cool that I think is interesting, I've been experimenting with too, is like you guys know I've done a lot of drinks or these elixirs and stuff too, but some of the stuff that's nano emulsified, which like the rapid onset, basically they're breaking down the molecules so small that they can go into your bloodstream just like alcohol would, which means it's going to leave your body faster. So some nano emulsified products, gummies, drinks, all that whole edible category will technically get out of your system faster is what I've noticed. So I say that, let me just throw out an example. If I had a nano emulsified 100 milligram beverage here, and then I had just 100 milligrams of gummies, that nano emulsified beverage should not only hit faster, but should leave the system faster. So that's another way to kind of experiment and look at it. There's also things I think you can do ahead of time, before you go to bed to kind of make it a little preventative, maybe have a little tea, just chill, stretch. But yeah, I mean, I don't really mind it that much. It's just part of taking edibles a lot, but I don't get weed hangovers every time I take edibles, but it can happen. And when it happens, you just gotta deal with it.